So firstly, welcome everyone to the DLD College Virtual Open Morning. We'll begin shortly. Just a reminder for everyone that the session will be recorded. So it will be circulated to everyone after the session. And we have had some questions in advance, which I've made a note of, and I will direct to our panelists at the end. But if you do have any questions kind of throughout the session that haven't been addressed, do feel free to use the chat or the Q&A functionality in Zoom as well, and we'll try and address those at the end if we've got time. If not, we'll come back to you directly as part of our kind of follow-up and get those answered for you. Today, we are joined by Janae Morrison, who's our admissions manager, Gareth Evans, who's our assistant principal, James Kidd, our senior vice principal, and Dr. Sarah Watson, our vice principal. Mark will also be joining us. He's a boarding student here at DLD, so he'll be able to provide a student perspective on life at DLD so far. But without further ado, I'm actually going to hand over to Principal Irfan Latif, who's going to be able to provide a bit of an overview of DLD College London. So over to you, Irfan.
Thank you very much, Sam, and welcome to all of you to DLD College London this morning, a multi-award-winning 13 to 19 co-educational boarding and day school right in the heart of London. I'm Irfan Latif, and I've had the privilege of being the principal of this unique and incredible school for some 6 years now. It was established nearly 100 years ago and has firmly become a leading light in the independent sector for its innovative approach to teaching and learning, pastoral care and boarding, having recently won Boarding School of the Year and the Special Judges Award for Independent School of the Year. Quite an accolade. All head teachers call their schools unique, but in this case, in all my professional experience in 6 different schools across the country, I have never known such a happy and inspiring environment. Nowhere have I seen more dedicated and skilled teaching, nor such commitment and initiative in providing creative and challenging learning for our pupils. We combine the best of the traditional, clear moral values, an emphasis on character, compassion, and service, with an innovative and forward-looking vision for preparing young adults for this rapidly changing technological world in which we now live in. From chemistry and history to business entrepreneurship and esports, our groundbreaking curriculum meets the needs of the 21st century learner, infused with passion, purpose, and a sense of joy. Ours is a school where children flourish, achieving far more than they could ever have imagined. We're currently celebrating outstanding exam results and university success, with our students going on to read engineering, for example, at Cambridge, biomedical sciences at Imperial, artificial intelligence at King's, politics at Warwick, psychology at UCLA in California, and economics at UCL. We have strength and depth in both the sciences and humanities. Truly outstanding. Curiosity, critical thinking, communication, and problem solving lie at the heart of our approach to learning here at DLD. With over 30 co-curricular activities, clubs, and societies to choose from, our students can develop new interests, discover unexpected talents, and feel valued. Not for their examination results, though these are really, really important, but simply for who they are, with all their unique and exciting gifts and personalities. We know that one of the greatest challenges for children is to overcome their fear of failure. Perfectionism and the curse of the good student can prevent them from taking risks, rising to challenges, and having a go. Performance anxiety, coupled with all the pressures of social media, can rob children of the opportunity to enjoy new challenges and achieve high goals. We therefore help them develop courage, emotional intelligence, and a strong sense of self-worth with our award-winning approach to well-being. We create an environment where mistakes or failure are merely a work in progress and essential to the journey towards maturity and confidence. We seek to instill a love of learning through our own enthusiasm for discovering more of this vibrant and complex world around us. At DLD, in the centre of the most exciting and iconic cities in the world, your son or daughter can prepare for the adventure of adult life and enjoy unrivaled cultural opportunities in a safe, caring, and inspiring community. As our vision is about creating unique learning opportunities, where more so than in London. And our mission is to develop the next generation of leaders to take their place in a diverse and challenging world. But don't simply take my word for it. The Good Schools Guide, who recently visited us, said DLD College London is one of the most unique and exciting schools in Britain. Urban, modern, forward-looking, and undeniably cool. Your future is right here. We look forward to welcoming you to DLD next September. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of our open morning webinar. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Irfan. Really appreciated. Very, very helpful. What we'll do now is I'll move on to Dr. Sarah Watson, who's going to be able to provide a bit of an academic overview. Perfect. Screen share in there. So over to you, Sarah.
Thank you very much, Sam. Nice to have all of you on the call today. My name is Dr. Sarah Watson. I'm the Vice Principal Academic at DLD College London. So what I would like to do now is to talk you through what the academic pathways are for students who wish to join DLD. We are a school with multiple pathways because we truly believe that students should have a personalised progression through their school career, a progression that enables them to continue on into whatever career, university, apprenticeship, placement, or world of work after school. And so we provide many courses that allow them to reach their particular goal. So just to share with you on one screen how you can see progression happens at DLD College. So first of all, students who opt to enter in Year 9, that's a brand new programme for this year. We are really proud of our Year 9 offering. It's a unique, innovative curriculum that is designed for 2023 modern learning. We designed it with many specialists and specialist teachers as well to look at what the skills and content knowledge are needed for students aged 13 years old, to give them true and valuable options for the future moving into the Year 10 programme. So students in Year 9 will study maths, English, science, creative arts, digital futures, people and places, and a really exciting, innovative urban schools project. And I will go into that in a bit more detail later on. Students then have the option to move into Year 10, or they are welcome to join us in Year 10 as well for a 2-year Key Stage 4 programme, or as we like to call it, Key Stage More, because what we offer is either traditional pathway of up to 10 traditional GCSEs, or students can opt for a mixture of GCSEs and new innovative BTEC Level 2 options. So all students in our Year 10 programme will study GCSE Maths, GCSE English, and GCSE Double Science. There are then the options, once they get to the second year in Year 11, if they would like to upgrade to GCSE English Literature as well, they can do that. And if they'd like to upgrade to the Triple Science option, they can do that as well, grades permitting. We then have a whole host of exciting options for students to choose from. So they range from GCSE Art to BTEC Sport, from GCSE Film Studies or Economics to BTEC Business Enterprise, from GCSE Geography to BTEC Performing Arts, from GCSE History to BTEC Esports, which are very exciting programs indeed. So there really is the chance to personalise your learning as you move throughout the school, whether you want to stick with a quite traditional method or whether you want to go for something more innovative and cutting edge, really depending on what your goals for the future are. We also have the option for students who are maybe already 15 or 16 years old, or they're coming from a system which doesn't have GCSEs, and that is a goal of students to attain GCSEs. We have a 1-year Year 11 fast track GCSE programme where students can attain 6 to 7 GCSEs within 1 year. It is an intense year, but it is certainly possible, and the results are still excellent. So for that 1-year fast track programme, students will study GCSE mathematics, English language, separate sciences of biology, chemistry and physics, and then they have the option between GCSE art or BTEC business enterprise. So it is certainly possible within the 1-year programme for students a little bit older, or for students who have very specific goals for year 12 and 13. We then move on to our DLD sixth form, and we offer a whole host of 20 A-level subjects. So whatever you want to study at A-level here, the chances are we do offer those courses for you. BTEC, we have 1- and 2-year options, and they are in media creative and also business. The BTECs are increasingly popular. We know they are well recognised by universities all around the UK, and they are worth the equivalent of 3 A-levels, but they're very intense in that subject chosen. We also offer international foundation programmes in 9 different subjects. They are 1-year programmes open to international students specifically, and they allow access into universities the following year. Our Leavers destinations, we're really focused on allowing students to aim for what they would like whilst being realistic and supporting them all along the way. All students in year 12 and 13 are given their own university admissions tutor, UAT. That university admissions tutor will meet with students throughout year 12 and year 13, either in small groups or one-to-one as well. And they'll help them to research into their next steps. Now, most of our students do go on to university, but they can also give advice and guidance on things like apprenticeships or apprenticeship degree programs or the world of work as well. That university admissions tutor stays with students all through their sixth form, and even on results day can support them as well with their offers for universities. Our students do very, very well, and the vast majority of students go on to what they wanted to go on to after they leave DLD. So more than half of our A-level students progress to Russell Group university groups, over a fifth of them to top World 100 universities, and around a quarter to the World Top 20 and G5 universities. We are a very international college, and so many students will also opt to go to university overseas as well. We have offers from Cambridge, Oxford, King's, Imperial, Exeter, Birmingham, Loughborough, and many other top universities in the UK, as well as US universities and several more across Europe as well. So for us, personalisation is key, and this is why all students are given their own admissions tutor who can support them and guide them on that unique journey. For the Year 9 programme, I thought I would share our innovative Year 9 programme and curriculum, which allows students to access any of the very traditional or more cutting edge and newer programmes in the Year 10 and 11. For mathematics, they focus on foundational numeracy and core mathematics. That is going to help them across their other subjects, as well as develop those core numeracy skills. For English, we have separate pathways for students who are native English speakers and those who require a little more support in academic English as well. Students will also study interdisciplinary courses of biology, chemistry, physics, looking at project-based approaches to looking at how the sciences are linked together, as well as specific details from each of the 3 scientific disciplines. All students will then do a course, an interdisciplinary course on creative arts. This combines the elements of visual arts, film, media, and photography to give students a taster of all of these courses, and therefore give them an authentic choice when it comes to their courses in Year 10. We do offer all of these subjects as individual subjects later on in the school programme. We also have a very unique innovative course called Digital Futures. This combines elements of business studies, economics, computer science, and esports. And you can see in the image there our esports arena, where students have up-to-date technology in the gaming industry. We know this is one of the biggest industries and the highest growing industries around the world, not just in actually gaming, but around the business, finance, and media of this. And so we are linked with the University of Esports in the Olympic Park for support with these programs as well, who provide us with real professional level equipment and support. So Digital Futures gives students, again, a sense of these different subjects which are available as individual subjects later on in the college. People and Places is another integrated course, which we may think of as a more humanities style course. So in this course, students will study elements of geography, history, psychology, sociology, and classic civilizations. Again, all of these courses are available as unique standalone courses later on in the school. So Year 9 students get a true taster of all of these disciplines, so to enable them to make proper choices when it comes to Year 10. For A levels, you can see the variety of A level subjects which are on offer here, from government and politics to film studies, computer science, classic civilizations, drama and theatre, economics. The list is endless and really allows students to specialize in areas that they would like to. For example, if they're very creative, students can take art and design, as well as graphic communication, as well as photography, for example, or they are open to a wide spread of courses. And we strongly encourage students to take up to 4 A levels with us. We also have on offer the Extended Project Qualification, EPQ, which are accepted by universities and are worth UCAS points. And that is a real bonus for students looking to apply to universities. Our international foundation programs are accredited, fully accredited by the NCFE. We are inspected every year to ensure that we maintain high standards and appropriate standards in these international foundation programs. And this way, universities really trust and value DLD's IFP programs, and therefore we have great offers from many universities around the UK for our 1-year international foundation program courses. So students can study advanced mathematics and economics, which is at a level of further mathematics A level, art and design courses, biomedical science courses, which students can use to study biomedical science at university before doing conversion courses to medicine. So it is a nice way in to students from overseas who would like to study medicine in the UK. Business and economics, computer science and mathematics, engineering, which is a combination of advanced mathematics and physics, fashion management, again, combining business and art and design, and the social sciences, looking at history, politics, and psychology and sociology in that course as well. So really excellent programs that enable students to access universities in the UK with those 1-year programs. We are really focused on looking at careers and professional development. We're so pleased that we are one of the few schools to offer careers as a timetabled lesson within the curriculum for years 9, 10, and 11. So students are encouraged to think at the very early stage about what careers they would potentially like to go into, which means that when they make choices for their GCSEs, BTECs, A-levels, or IFPs, it is a well-researched, authentic, and realistic choice for them to make their career progression throughout school as smooth as possible. We allow students to express themselves and to express their thoughts and feelings on what they would like for the future. And we offer many options of visits to universities, visits to the wonderful links that we have around London. London truly is our classroom. And we also invite in guest speakers within the industry as well. Different seminars students can opt to attend. And also our wonderful university affairs, which happen 2 or 3 times a year. You can see a picture of one of them there in our school atrium. And we have universities from the UK and all around the world who come to represent a stall at our university admission fairs. And students are available and allowed to visit all of these stalls and speak directly to people from these universities. We also give advice, and we have people in to talk about apprenticeships and the very modern and new apprenticeship degree programs, which are really taking tertiary education by storm at the moment. Personal health and social education, of course, is statutory in the UK and is something that we take very seriously, along with safeguarding. And there are unique standalone lessons timetabled in staying safe, being resilient, and staying mentally healthy. Sport is available for all students at school. We do have our own gym, swimming pool and sauna in the basement, which students are free to use in their own time. And they also give us extra excellent facilities. We also take students off site. We hire venues for sports because we are in the centre of London and we do need to utilise other facilities. And we also go to other schools to play competitions in basketball and football, for example. Our Urban Schools project in Year 9 is really exciting. Every Friday, students are off-site going to somewhere unique in London, whether that is Kew Gardens to look at ecosystems and environmental change, or whether it's going to Harry Potter Studios to look at media design and the future of technology. We really want students to get out and look at what they're studying in the classroom in the real world and combine that with projects. So they take away genuine real life learning and they turn that into active research once they get back in the classroom. So that is a weekly program where we really do use London as our classroom. And enrichment, we have over 50 different enrichment activities, from the Duke of Edinburgh to hiking groups to horticulture society to extra clinics for students who want a bit more support, and they are run after school on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday from 4 to 5 p.m. and students are strongly encouraged to take up 1, 2 or 3 of those throughout the year. We do have a number of Alpha scholarships. We have 10 Alpha scholarships a year, which are available to both domestic and international students. These are worth 50% off tuition fees. The process for this is once you are offered a place at DLD College through the normal interview route, you would then be offered the chance to apply for an Alpha scholarship. You will be given an essay to write, and then you'll have a second interview based on that essay. The Busby pathway is for humanities, the Hume pathway for economics and politics, and the Faraday pathway for science. Students are also offered a program of leadership once in the school and looking at various leadership opportunities, as well as 50% off those fees. So we are looking for students who are heavily invested in the subject. They have a unique and a deep passion for the subject, and they can explore that with us at interview. Bursaries are also available, and college awards, and Janae will speak about that slightly later on. And then at the end of your child's journey with us, we are so lucky to be the only school who has their graduation ceremony in the Houses of Parliament. You can see here the entrance to Houses of Parliament, which is actually where our late Queen lay in rest. And it is a magical day for parents and loved ones to come along and celebrate graduation with their child. And this is where we hope to meet you all in the coming years. So I will leave it with you, and I will pass on to James, who's our Senior Vice Principal, to talk about pastoral provision. Thank you very much. Sorry, James, you're just on mute there.
Classic, welcome. Thank you, everyone. Good morning, everyone. My name is James. I'm the Senior Vice Principal here at DLD College. I'm going to talk to you about pastoral care and the sort of non-academic part of life. And then my colleague Gareth will take over talking about the boarding side of things. So here at DLD College, proactive and reactive is the sort of focus that we go for. Before you even arrive, we ask students to let us know about any pastoral care needs they might have, but also to get to know them. So to talk us through what their interests are, what their experiences are. This is really useful for us, particularly in boarding, where we try to bring people together, but also in our house system, which I'll touch on in a second, in terms of making sure there's that real mix. As you can probably imagine, DLD College, we have over 50 different nationalities, people come together from all around the world. We want to make sure they have a real opportunity to maximize that, to make sure they're getting to know different people, to getting to know different people from different parts of the world, not just within their own home country, or maybe even from the same school. So we'll try to split those up as they go. Obviously, once you get here, we continue that sense of pastoral care, that proactive, but also reactive. And I'll talk through the various bits of support that are on offer. Ourselves are seeing ourselves as a value-based school, what we call character education. Of course, the academics are very important, and Sarah's just talked through that. But we want to think about our students leaving here, not just as a set of A-level, BTEC, IFP grades, but successful 25-year-olds. That means they need to do more than just have those grades. They need to be able to say, I'm going to be able to be this sort of human being, this man, woman in the future, who can set themselves apart from those out in the real world. So our values are about track, tolerance, respect, academic curiosity, community, and kindness. When we find ourselves in situations where there's a lot going on out in the real world, those values keep us as one community. They mean that when students come here, school is a safe place. School is a place where they can come, they can recognize that they're with like-minded people, they can recognize that staff are here to support them, and that we have those shared values in place. It's something we talk about regularly. You'll notice it around the school if you come and visit us. You'll notice it in newsletters. You'll notice it in assemblies. It's really important to us that students really buy into those values. So anyone coming here, we really want to be clear with them. That's what we're looking for. Yes, of course, we want you to be able to do your studies, but we want you to be a lovely person who is going to embody those values that we hold true. And those values start off in the house system. So the house system has been in place for the last few years. You can see that the houses are named around tube lines that run into our local area. Many of the students on here may well be using those tubes to get to school. In terms of the school day, the day starts at 8:45 every day, Monday to Friday, where you'll meet with your tutor. The tutor will be part of the house system, and the tutor is there along with the housemaster or house mistress, who will help you to, one, make sure your studies are going well, but two, make sure that the personal side of things is working too. Your tutor will go through things like PSHE that Sarah mentioned earlier. So there's a session every week where you'll learn about life skills, or you'll learn about things which are critical to yourself in the future. Your tutor will also be the point of contact for yourself to go and talk to if things are going well or less well. The housemaster or house mistress, for the parents on the call, that's your main contact. So that person will be the one who you may talk to if there are issues with studies where you need to switch subjects, or there are issues where you're looking at progression and you're not sure which subjects are best served for your child. So the house system is really there in place to be that extra layer of support. As I mentioned, the houses also have their own values. They have the school values, but they also bring in their own. But perhaps the biggest part is the house competitions, that sense of community within a community. So recently, we've had a house Halloween quiz. We've also had house football. Coming up will be house art competitions, table tennis competitions, and various other things they go through. Towards the end of the year, there'll be the overall house awarded, but it's not just about sport. In the lessons, you can gain points, you can help towards what your house is achieving, and that'll be celebrated at house and above level throughout the year. And at the end of the year, there's a big fight to be the best house and have that overall winning title. In terms of the support that's available, wellbeing is now at the forefront of what everyone is thinking about. And it's important that we obviously help to encourage students to become resilient, but also to give them that support when needed. Across the bottom, you can see a range of systems that we engage with. So the My Concern system is a safeguarding tool. All our staff are trained on safeguarding to make sure that they can pick up on the signs, but also to make sure the correct reporting is happening so that myself or my safeguarding team can ensure that we can get straight there and give support needed to the students. Stodal is a new system we've brought in this year, working with an Australian company, which is about helping students to build resilience, but also to be leading their own agency. So for example, this is a gamified system where the students can tap into how they're feeling, but also gain resources in real time as to how they can help themselves. Staff will also gain that information so they can give that extra wraparound care and push that back. Earlier, I talked about gaining house points. ePraise is our system where people will gain their points there. They can get prizes through that. But the main thing is to go through to that house competition. As a parent, you may wish to obviously tap into what's going on, how are they getting on, are they doing really well or sadly less so, and also check on things like homework and so on, particularly in the younger years. And that system is something you can use for that. It's web-based, so all you need to be able to access it is just an internet connection. We also recognise, in terms of that building resilience and helping students to feel that they can take themselves on that journey, the importance of coaching. So rather than just telling students this is the answer, helping them to find their own answers. And Gradient is a company that does coaching that we work with, and we do that. And we've had staff go off and internationally deliver coaching sessions, as well as in the UK. Similarly, we have something called mental health first aid training, which our staff do, but also some of our students, so they can be leading from the front there as well. We're very fortunate to have trainers in mental health first aid, as well as coaching, so we can keep that training going on. What that looks like in the sort of day-to-day side of things, I've mentioned already the PSHE session, which we have on a Tuesday morning, which is led by the tutors. We will do the SCODAL check-ins quite frequently, and our head of SCODAL will go through that and obviously work with the house masters, house mistresses, the tutor team and the house parent team to make sure that people are aware of what's happening and giving support where needed. Gareth, who's coming up shortly, will be able to talk for the wellbeing team, but we have a staff and student wellbeing team. As part of the student council, the students have a body on that. And I've touched on the pastoral care already. We regularly meet to discuss students on the pastoral side of things to make sure that we're aware and the right people know what they need to do. But within the school, we're also very fortunate to have 2 school counsellors. So if students are struggling, there are people here who are very much trained, skilled, experts to be able to go and talk to get the support they need. The student voice and leadership that we offer is important to us. As Irfan mentioned at the beginning, we're trying to look at the idea of the next set of leaders that come. We're developing them for a world that we don't yet know. So trying to give them opportunities as they go through. So some examples would be the food committee. As you can probably imagine, for a teenager, food is very, very important. The food here has itself an international flavour. And so trying to get different voices, not just staff, but actually from the students, is really important to us. And they work with our head chef, Antonio, to be able to talk about what things might be brought in. Just yesterday, we had an international fair and students were able to bring their home food in, and it created quite a buzz. And those are the sort of things where the chef team, for example, might say, great, let's take some of those in and pop them into play. The boarding side of things, Gareth again will talk about the boarding council, but again, a leadership opportunity. So for those boarders who are here, giving them opportunities to be the voice of their fellow boarders. Within the house system, we have house captain, who's the sort of top student within the house, and leaders who are like their deputies, who can bring forward ideas and speak to their house master or house mistress about things like the house charity they might be supporting, or about what they'd like to do in terms of trips and so on. And at the top table of student leadership is the student council. So the student council runs every year from April to March, and these students come forward. I meet with them, and Mark later on is going to speak to you, who's one of our heads of school, and they give us their voice. They tell us what's going on. They're the eyes and ears on the ground, if you will, so that we know what's happening and what's coming up, and also about what things we need to be jumping on to help and to ensure that the best situation and best experience is had by all students. So the Student Council is very much an impressive body of people, but it's also something that lots of people aspire to. We have 17 people on the Student Council, but over 70 students apply to be on it each year. So it gives you an idea of that level and prestige that they're held within. Also, the co-curricular activities program that again Sarah touched on, but to give you a bit more detail. So the co-curricular activities, we call them CCAs, run Monday to Thursday, but also into the holidays with things like the Duke of Edinburgh Award, which has different component parts, one of which is an expedition taking place in the holiday time. We encourage students to take at least one, but many will take more, and particularly of our younger students where perhaps they're learning new things, gaining more experiences, we'd really encourage them to engage as much as possible with all those new things to them. Clearly, as they get older, some of those might become a bit more narrow, and things like academic enrichment might come into play more, where they're focusing on perhaps a medical application, and so they might be starting to do things like the chemistry Olympiad instead, and so they're trying to build their skills. For our international students, activities such as public speaking and debating have become really popular because they want to practice their speaking, they want to improve that, so that down the line their IELTS exams will reap the benefit of that as their English really pushes on and goes through. We have sports teams that compete in fixtures in football, basketball and netball, but just down from here at the local park, you can also go and take part in things like tennis and other sports, and also there's an outdoor gym as well as a downstairs gym here in our building. So we would always encourage students to get on with that and to get involved, because quite often students will come with hobbies, but we'd like them to try something new as well. If they do so, they often find a new hobby that will keep on going. And again, when we come back to that full circle of academics, when applying for university, having something additional that they can talk about and really develop through their time. Gareth is now going to talk about the boarding, so I'll hand over on to Gareth for you now. Thank you, Gareth.
Thank you very much. James, could you start my video? Good morning, everyone. I'm really happy and proud to present boarding to you this morning. So my name is Gareth Evans. I'm the Assistant Principal Pastoral and Boarding. We have a fantastic boarding house at DLD College. Fantastic award-winning 21st century urban boarding house. The boarding is above the school, so the students do not have a commute to get here, and it really is a home from home feel. So they all have common rooms in the evenings. They can use the atrium as a lounge. We bring out sofas. We've got a big screen. We've got gaming systems that the students can play on, table tennis. It's a really fantastic community atmosphere here at DLD College. In terms of rooms, we have 250 rooms arranged over 15 floors, and our rooms are divided by age and gender as well. That's really important from a safeguarding perspective. We also have experienced resident house parents who live on site, and they're available to the students 24/7. So the students, when they're here, will always have someone that they can call upon if they need help with anything, they need any advice, if they're missing home, they want to talk about their academic challenges. So they have a dedicated member of staff who will always be a listening ear to them and happy to help. The house parents are also affiliated with a house themselves, and they'll have regular meetings with the house masters so that they can report back any concerns pastorally or academically. And again, we have that kind of wraparound care to ensure that our students are as supported and nurtured as possible. We know that your children are really important to you, and we want to make sure that we provide them the best possible care in boarding. In terms of rooms that we have available, we have largely single rooms, which are single en suite, so they have their own private bathroom. A number of rooms have views of iconic London sites like Big Ben and the London Eye. And we also have a smaller range of twin rooms, which I'll show you a picture of on the next slide. But even with the twin rooms, there is an opportunity for privacy for the students as well, because they have a dividing wall that goes down the middle of the room. But the rooms really are very, very special and quite unique for a boarding school. So we're very proud of our boarding house. In terms of safety, we have security at the school, so you can guarantee that your child will be kept very, very safe at all times. And I will talk a little bit about trips and visits later on in the presentation, but we make sure that at weekends and during the holidays, and in the evenings, that there's always something for our students to do. We are in the centre of London. We're really lucky in that sense because we have many different trip opportunities, learning opportunities on our doorstep. And just to say, in terms of the boarding house, largely the boarding house stays open throughout the year. During half term and Easter holidays, our students can stay in boarding should they choose. We do close at Christmas, and we do close during the summer, but otherwise the students will have their rooms available throughout the year. James mentioned earlier on about the wellbeing team. So the wellbeing team is another tool that we have to support and nurture the students here at DLD. My wellbeing team is made up of a staff body and also a student body. At the moment, the student wellbeing team have been involved in organising a number of different events within the school to promote mental health and well-being. A few weeks ago, they organised a presentation in the atrium for all of the students, but they also do weekly drop-ins, so the students can go and speak to a fellow student and help get signposted to a member of staff, an experienced member of staff in the college that can help them with whatever well-being challenge that they might be having. A number of our staff also are sleep practitioners. We understand that there's a link between well-being and adopting healthy sleeping patterns. So there'll be a number of members of staff that can speak to our students about the importance of sleep and the impact that can have on other parts of their life. We also have a matron who is available to our students. So whether that's the child needs regular medication that has to be administered, our matron will be on hand to do that. But also, if they get unwell during the academic year, our matron will be available to speak to the students and get them the right medical care. We have a college counsellor that students can refer to. So we actually have 2 college counsellors that are available Monday to Friday. And we also have a fantastic learning support team who are available to help our students with their academic challenges. James, if you wouldn't mind moving to the next slide for me. So this just gives you an idea of our accommodation. So you can see that every floor has a dedicated common room. The picture on the top left-hand side just gives you a flavour of what a typical common room looks like at DLD, and house parents will work with the students to decorate and theme their common rooms. The picture in the top middle is an example of a twin room, and on the bottom right is an example of a single room. You can see with the twin room there's a dividing wall down the middle. Our students tend to open those up, but as I said, if they want some privacy, they can close that down. We also have an example of a kitchen, so you can see that there's basic amenities: toaster, kettle, microwave, fridge, freezer. Our students have food credit loaded onto their DLD college card, so they get breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But this is just in case they want a snack or a hot drink after school has ended, and it's a really good kind of community social space. You can see at the bottom in the middle the gym. It's a fantastic gym we have here at the college, and again, everything is on site. I think that's the best thing about our boarding house. You've got the school just a lift away, so there's no excuse to be late. The boarding is above the school, and then in the basement you've got a fantastic gym, swimming pool, really very unique. James, if you can move on, please. Two of our house parents are responsible for managing the trips that we that we offer throughout the year. So Scott and Joyce do a fantastic job in putting on a wide range of different activities and trips. And in the most recent weeks, we top in the left-hand side, we have the students are enjoying a bus tour of London. So this was part of our induction week, actually, where we wanted to get our students exploring London and seeing how culturally diverse it was. And the best way to do that was to go on the big London tour and took in the sights of London. You can see they're on a open air bus. So we were very lucky in September that we had a slightly delayed summer, so they were able to benefit from that in the early days. Over half term, we went to Thorpe Park, which is a very renowned theme park based just outside of London in Surrey. Students had a great day, taking part in lots of scary rides and winning lots of cuddly toys and all sorts of things. So that was fantastic. And then, being London, we have a range of different theatres, and we had a trip to see Matilda recently. We've got things like England versus Malta, football coming up, so a trip to Wembley, and also Jan, one of our other house parents, is organising a few residential trips. So we've got trips to Ireland, Scotland and Wales coming up as well. Thank you, James. And then throughout the week, students obviously have CCAs, which James touched upon, but each one of our house parents and boarding assistants runs a different activity throughout the week. So that's Monday through to Sunday. So there isn't a day of the week that there isn't something for them to get involved in. Again, it's really about trying to encourage them to try something new and to challenge themselves. We'd like them to get outside their comfort zone. So we have a really diverse range of activities which are based on specialisms of our boarding team. So things like Chinese calligraphy, embroidering, we've got running club, art therapy, music. We have a number of our residential house parents have dogs that live on site, so they also get the students out walking their dogs, which is a really lovely activity every Wednesday. And then we also have other monthly activities. So these don't happen every week, but they happen periodically throughout the year. So things like the book club, late night movie club, which is a really special event in the atrium. Get the movie, get the pizzas out, popcorn, lights off, and watch a really good film. And also cooking. You know, the number of our students are going to be progressing on to university, so we're trying to give them some of those independent skills that they're going to need. They're not going to have a global kitchen when they leave DLD College, so we want to ensure they've got some of those basic independent skills that they're going to need to live and survive in the real world. If you can move on, James. That's it. That's everything for me. So it's it's a great pleasure to introduce boarding to you, and if there are any questions later on, I'll be happy to take those.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Gareth. Much appreciated. On that, I have seen a couple of comments that have just come through on the chat, just with regard to sharing some of the presentation. So we'll be able to share, of course, some of these slides with you, as well as some other really fantastic resources. So we've got some fantastic videos that really showcase the facilities at DLD, which is, so we'll be able to share, as well as some really good interviews with some of our current students from around the world. Both kind of domestic and international. So we'll get those circulated as well. In the meantime, I'm delighted to say we're actually joined by one of our students, Mark, who heads up our student council. So I'll invite Mark to join our screen. Mark,
hello.
Bear with me one moment. I'll just see. Oh, perfect. That's come up there. Brilliant. Thank you very much for joining us. Really, really appreciated. I just thought we'd just kind of start off by you kind of introducing yourself, I guess, Mark, in terms of what you are studying at DLD and your role.
Yeah, thank you, Sam. So my name is Mark. I am 13. I'm in year 13. I'm studying maths, media studies, and economics. As I used to study as well sociology and EPQ. Concurrently, I'm a board as well and an international student. So if you have any questions, obviously, about student experience as a board and as international students, I'm all here to answer.
Fantastic, brilliant. And I guess just to start things off, why that you chose to study at DLD? What stood out to you about the school?
Yeah, I think the main thing for me was an opportunity that DLD gives its students, and not only about academic opportunities, as most people would say, but for me it was an opportunity to get more freedom. At the same time, DLD has a really great balance of giving freedom to its students and at the same time looking after them, which gives us an opportunity to go through the process of maturity. So yeah, responsibility and balance of taking care of us gives us opportunity to become more mature and eventually become real young adults, not just children.
Yeah, definitely. And what's your boarding experience been like kind of so far? How have you been kind of supported at DLD?
Oh, great. Obviously, we have support from all of the sides possible. So as our administration, other students, student council, whatever we need, even our teachers, they always support us during during the study year. My own experience was great. Undoubtedly, I can say that I enjoyed and I am enjoying living in DLD college as a boarder, studying here as academic students. So I love the community. I love a relationship between our teachers and students themselves. So I'd say great, undoubtedly. So.
Brilliant, fantastic. And so I guess just if you're able to give us a bit of an insight into student life, I guess at DLD. So what is it that you as a boarding student kind of get up to at weekends? What do you guys do for fun?
Yeah, it depends on the student. Obviously, some students prefer to stay in DLD college and watch a movie at Saturday nights, or do some events such as house football, house competitions. Though for me, during the weekend, I like to hang out with my friends, go out. Obviously, DLD is located in the heart of London, which gives us an opportunity to travel in any direction we want and travel freely. Yeah, I prefer going to Mayfair, Soho districts, where a lot of events go on every weekend. So yeah, last time I went out with my friends, it was Benjamin Clementino concert in Royal Albert Hall, which is only 20 minutes ride from here. Not far away, obviously. So yeah, there are plenty of events going on.
Yeah, brilliant. As I say, one of the videos that I'll share with everyone on this webinar, it really does give a sense for the central location that DLD sits in. Because as you say, you've got places like the Royal Albert Hall right on your doorstep, which yeah, we're very lucky to have. So I guess very conscious of time because we still need to speak to Janae as well to run through kind of admissions and then obviously address any questions from any of our attendees. But I guess kind of final thoughts, I guess from yourself, Mark. What's kind of been the highlight so far from your time at DLD, and what are you kind of looking forward to?
Well, a highlight. I'm sure that most of past DLD students would say prom at the end of the year. A huge event when all of the year 13 and 14 students are celebrating their graduation. And if there are any free spaces, obviously, new students are able to join us as well. So yeah, it's a huge event that runs at the end of the year. Student Council actually helps organizing it. So I'm looking forward to this one. And last year it was great. It's right in front of Big Ben. So venue is just amazing. It feels like royal venue sometimes.
Brilliant, fantastic. And I guess just to end, do you have any advice or any sort of kind of guidance to anyone on the call that is potentially considering coming to DLD in the future?
I wouldn't say advice, though. What I would say is that if people want their children to become more mature at the same time, as I've mentioned it before, be looked after, DLD college is a great place because the balance, as I've mentioned earlier, is great. So yeah, children will change just throughout the year. You'll be able to notice it 100%. Children will become more mature as they get more responsibility on themselves.
Fantastic, brilliant. Really appreciate you joining us, Mark. Thanks very much. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand over to Janae Morrison, who's our admissions manager, and she's going to be able to go through, let's say, the next steps moving forward. So over to you, Janae. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you very much.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I hope all is well and that you have found the event informative so far. As Sam said, my name's Janae and I manage the domestic admissions here at DLD College London. And I'm just going to talk you through the process and how that is. So we are a non-selective school. We do not have entrance examinations. Our application is fairly straightforward and is processed on a rolling basis. We don't have set interview days or set offer days. As applications come in, we process those immediately and they work their way through the system. So we are currently recruiting for September 2024. And so for those who are interested in joining, I would definitely advise you to make your applications as soon as possible, just to ensure there's still space available on your subjects. So our application form can be accessed on the website. We do have an electronic version, but we also have a downloadable one for those that would prefer that method. And our application process is as follows. So once you complete the application form, we do ask you to upload a copy of your child's most recent school report. And if it's an application for A-levels, we do ask for you to provide students' predicted grades as well. Also a copy of your child's passport and any supporting documentation that we also need to review. So if there's any learning support needs that we need to have a look at, if there's any mental health or emotional support needs that we may need to be aware of, we do ask for you to provide those details as well. For those families or students that are interested in a college award or a scholarship, we do ask for you to, let us know, and then we can help you and guide you through that process as well. College awards, Sarah already spoke to you about the scholarships, but I will tell you a bit more about our college awards. So college awards are available to our British students, our domestic students, and those are available to students that demonstrate aptitude in any individual subject. So it could be an academic subject, creative, maybe art, photography, or maybe even sports. They are worth between 5 to 30% off of the tuition fees. And so when you send in your application, we ask for you to provide us with some evidence. So maybe if it's a college award in art, if you could provide us with, maybe some of your portfolio or some like photos or some photography that you've taken, just something for us to have a look at, just to be able to assess that. For moving on, then after that, we then ask for you to come in for an interview. It can be a online interview, or you are welcome to come into the college and have a tour as well if you haven't already seen the school. And so that interview is not an academic interview. It's not for not anything for students to be worried about. It's just for us to get to know the student, for us to understand goals and aspirations, to understand their commitment to learning, and also an opportunity for students to ask us any questions that they may have. An offer will be based on that interview, and if successful at interview, we will then issue an offer letter for our students. There are some conditions. There may be some conditions depending on the student and depending on the course that students have applied for. So for instance, a year 12 offer may be conditional on students achieving the entry requirements for their courses. There also may be a condition for a reference. So we need to ensure that we seek a reference from the previous school, just also so we can understand the student's commitment to learning and we can review that as well. If you are happy with the offer received, to accept that, we then ask for you to return our acceptance form, which is enclosed in the offer letter, and to pay the deposit and registration fee. and then your place will be confirmed at DLD. If it's an international application, there are slight variations. For instance, an international applicant will, if they haven't got evidence of their English ability or they haven't already been studying in a UK school, we may ask them to do a English proficiency test, just so we can see their level of English and their ability. But international applications are managed by our regional managers who are based around the world. And so they will be international applicants' first point of contact, and they will be able to guide you through that process also. All right. And so if there's any questions about the application process, or if there's anything that I've missed, please do let me know. Please do ask any questions and I'll be happy to answer those.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Janae. I hope that was useful for everyone on this webinar. I appreciate we have run over a little bit, but we did get some questions in advance through. So I will just kind of pose some of those to our panelists. As I say, if there are any others that you can think of, do feel free to use the chat or the Q&A functionality in Zoom, and we'll get those addressed. So I'll start, and I think this could be one for James or Gareth. It's just, how does the school support students who have any academic, social, or any emotional difficulties?
Yeah, I'm happy to take that one. So it depends what it is, I guess. So how we kind of break it up to make sure it goes to the relevant person who can help with that. So the starting point would be them sort of talking to their tutor or potentially their housemaster mistress to really understand what the issue is. They may well be able to deal with it themselves at that level, or it may be they need to bring in different support bits. So for example, it might be that we need to direct them towards the counsellor to be able to get some sort of more specialised support if it's more partial based for the emotional side, or it might be about speaking with a teacher or head of department if it's a more subject specific, and thinking about things like attending subject clinics or looking at is there a different way of saying the same thing to help that student understand what was being addressed in the lesson on that day.
Brilliant. Thank you, James. And I guess kind of sticking with yourself at the moment, we had another question through, which is, how does the school deal with any behavioural issues?
Yeah, we need to make sure that those things are not happening. So again, it depends what it is. Within a lesson, for example, the teacher will have gradated situations where behaviour warnings will be given. If they keep escalating, hope they don't, but if they do, the student might be put into detention. If there's a continuous pattern, hope there wouldn't be, we also have systems where students might go and report with either their tutor, housemaster, mistress, if they're really up there with myself, to make sure that we're controlling that behaviour from the start, and obviously challenging that. There's a balance. Sometimes, obviously, students have come from different backgrounds, have different experiences, and sometimes it's about education. So it's not always about just saying, right, let's sanction this child and deal with it, because it doesn't necessarily deal with the situation. So it depends what it is and who we're talking about. You know, if someone was in year 9 compared to someone who is doing their foundation program on the international side, different experiences, different behaviors. So we will probably look at that and just see what we need to do to make sure we come to a good conclusion, and then we can hopefully draw a line, move on. But on the whole, behavior is very good here, we're pleased to say, and we nip those things early in the bud so that we can obviously move forward positively.
Thank you, James. Really helpful. We had another one, and I think this may be one for you, Sarah. I know you did touch upon it in your presentation, but someone's asked, what kind of help does DLD provide regarding student university applications?
Yeah, thank you. We have a really comprehensive program here and support for students with university applications. So each student is given a university admissions tutor, and we call them UATs, when they enter year 12. That person stays with them all throughout year 12 and 13 and is available even into the holidays on the day of results to help with any issues with university places, or hopefully not, but if clearing is needed as well. So those university admissions tutors are specialised in their particular areas, and most of them have actually worked at universities and in university admissions themselves as well. So there is a lot of support for students. We also have the university open fairs, where many universities come into school and students can talk directly with people from universities about specific courses. And we also have a really good careers program in the school as well, with individual careers lessons with a careers specialist teacher. So yeah, kind of triangulated approach to careers, and lots of individual and more general support as well.
Brilliant. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. And then finally, probably I think one for yourself, Janae. Just in terms of breaking down the I guess the ratios in terms of students between domestic and international, and I guess the range of nationalities we have at DLD.
Okay, so we currently have over 61 different nationalities of students at DLD. And whilst we're privileged to have all these different nationalities and lots of different cultures, the largest group of students is still British students. So currently that's a statistic of 60% international, 40% domestic.
Brilliant, thank you, Janae. Certainly, from a diversity perspective, that's really one of DLD's strengths and something we excel at. So, I think that's all of the questions that we had come through in advance. And I know we had some questions during the Q&A, which we've addressed. Haven't had any more come through, and conscious of time. So, what I'll do is I'll just pass over to Irfan, again, DLD's principal, just to end this session. But thank you all for joining.
Thank you very much, Sam, and a huge thank you to all of you who've joined us this morning, giving up your time to find out why DLD is one of the most unique and exciting schools in Britain. We are available here. If you want a personalised tour, do please drop a line to Janae, who'll be more than happy to organise that for you, and a meeting with me as well. Thank you for all the lovely comments on social media as well. Do follow us on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook and the like, to keep up what's going on here and to give you a flavour of what we do on a day-to-day basis here at DLD. My thanks to our head of school, Mark, for giving up his time. I know he's got lessons today, but for him to drop in and talk to us about the benefits of coming to DLD, and I'm grateful to him. But it just leaves me to say, please do reach out. We're very, very happy to welcome you to DLD if you want to come and have a tour, etc. And we're also going to be available to speak on a one-to-one basis at the Independent School Show in Battersea in a few weeks' time on the 11th of November, on the Friday and on the Saturday and on the Sunday, the 12th. So do please pop in and see us at the Battersea for the ISS show, and we look forward to seeing you at DLD soon. Take care. Thank you to all my colleagues who gave up their time today to speak to you about DLD, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.